Imagine an ordinary afternoon in a quiet suburban street in Spring, Texas, a place of trimmed lawns, quiet neighbors and families who waved at one another every morning as they left for work or school. It was the sort of place where children played outside without worry, where doors were left unlocked, until one summer day in July 2014 when everything changed forever. The Stay family, Stephen, Katie and their 5 children, were known in their community as warm, kind, and deeply rooted in faith. Stephen, 39, was a real estate broker. Katie, 34, was a devoted mother and the sister of another woman named Melanie Lyon. Their children ranged from ages 4 to 15, Brian, 13, Emily, 9, Rebecca, 7, Zach, 4, and the eldest, Cassidy, 15. There was nothing in this family's life that seemed unusual. They were loved by many, attended church, and built a peaceful, happy home on Leaflet Lane, just minutes from the pulse of Houston. But a storm was gathering, one born not of nature, but of a human mind unraveling in darkness. His name was Ronald Lee Haskell Jr., a 33-year-old man whose life had drifted into shadows long before that fateful day. Haskell was not just a stranger, he was related to the Stay family. He was the ex-husband of Melanie, Katie's sister. Their marriage ended in divorce, after years of what Melanie would later describe in court as emotional and physical abuse. After the divorce, Haskell spiraled. Authorities later revealed that he was unstable, angry, and obsessed with regaining control. Prosecutors would describe his motive as vengeance, a desire to hurt anyone who had helped Melanie escape his grasp. Fueled by rage, Haskell traveled from California all the way to Texas, meticulously stocking ammunition and stealing a handgun along the way. He was on a mission of revenge that would leave a peaceful suburban home forever stained with blood. The knock on the door. The date was July 9, 2014. On that heat-soaked morning, Haskell approached the Stay's front door dressed as a FedEx delivery driver, complete with uniform and a package. He knocked. Inside, 15-year-old Cassidy was home with her 4 younger siblings. Cassidy, unaware of the horror about to unfold, told him her parents weren't home yet and asked him to return later, but Haskell wasn't going to leave. Moments later, he forced his way in. What followed would turn a peaceful household into a scene of incomprehensible terror. The nightmare begins. He didn't just confront them, he pinned them down. Haskell lined the family up on the living room floor like grim figures in a macabre tableau. There, in that quiet house, he executed them one by one, starting with Katie. Cassidy, injured and in shock, later described hearing the shots, boom, 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 as her mother, father, and siblings were killed within inches of her. According to testimony, her youngest siblings were among the first to fall, helpless and unaware of the evil closing in on them. Brian, Emily, Rebecca, and little Zach all perished that day. Cassidy herself was shot, a bullet grazing her skull, but by some unholy twist of fate, she was still alive. In the aftermath of the carnage, she lay still. She played dead, her body still warm with fear and blood. Shocker's survival in silence. After what felt like an eternity, the house fell silent. Cassidy waited. She listened for footsteps, for grunts, for anything that would signal her turn was coming. But when no movement stirred, she summoned every bit of courage left inside her. And called 911. With trembling lips, she relayed the horror to the dispatcher, identifying her attacker and warning that he might be moving on to kill more family members. Her voice, though fragile, was the only thing standing between the world and further tragedy. In a matter of minutes, law enforcement tracked Haskell down, not at the horror-soaked home, but at the house of Melanie's parents. He was intercepted before more blood was spilled and taken into custody, following a tense standoff. She had judgment in the courtroom. The nation watched as the case unfolded in court. Haskell's defense attempted to argue insanity, that he heard voices in his head and was driven by some fractured sense of reality. But prosecutors dismantled that claim, pointing to meticulous planning, stolen weapons, and a calculated journey from California to Texas. A jury found him guilty of capital murder, rejecting the insanity defense. In 2019, he was sentenced to death, the harshest punishment the state of Texas could deliver. During sentencing, Cassidy, now older and still bearing both physical and emotional scars, stood and addressed her family's killer. She spoke of loss, pain, and a form of justice she hoped would finally bring peace. Reflection: a light in the darkness. The Stay family's story is one of unimaginable loss, a loving home reduced to hushed silence and broken dreams. Yet in the darkest depths of that living room, where bullets tore through innocence, one voice survived. Cassidy's bravery didn't just save her life, it may have saved many others. Her 911 call stopped a man whose path of vengeance may have stretched far beyond that one quiet street in Spring, Texas. Today, her story stands as both a warning and a testament, a chilling narrative of how thin the veil can be between peace and terror, and how one act of courage can pierce through the deepest shadows.